guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny?
I don't know. I don't like this.
How do you, I'm just asking how you define misogyny. Are you okay? Like, do you want, you want to go as in leave? Is it because I asked how you define misogyny? Is that the...
No, I'd like to go home if that's allowed.
Because I asked about how you define misogyny.
What was that about? Just throwing words around and then you get asked to define that word and you can't, so you're like, oh shit. Plan B, start crying, because that's always worked before. You know, it's kind of like, how dare you ask me to define one of my buzzwords?
How dare you?
When you talk about the bonus difference between the men's team and the women's team, the women got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. The Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
Women in this country still make 77 cents on the dollar for what men make. So if women don't make less than men?
Actually, if you start looking at the numbers, Rachel, there are lots of reasons for that.
Oh, wait. Well, don't tell me the reasons are. Do women make less than men for doing the same?
No, because...
Wow. Okay.
Well, for example, men work an average of 44 hours a week. Women work 41 hours a week. Men go into professions like engineering, science, and math that earn more. Women want more flexible professions.
Listen, this is not a math is hard.
No. Yes, it is, actually.
Right now, women are making 77 cents on the dollar for what men are making.
But that's not true. If so,
let Rachel make her point.
Every greedy businessman in America would hire only women, save 25%, and be hugely profitable. And I love how passionate you are. I wish you were as right about what you're saying as you are passionate about it. I really do.
Feminism is rooted in the struggles of ordinary women. It's about the fact that, you know, women often get paid less. It's about the fact that women are on the front line of some of the hardest sectors to work in care, in our healthcare system, in social care. It's about the fact that they do so much unpaid labor in the household.
How many female bricklayers do you know?
I mean,
or female bin cleaners.
Great question.
What are you talking about?
Great question. Have you ever met a female bricklayer?
I don't know.
No, you haven't.
But I love the assumption that being a bricklayer is harder than like caring for the terminally ill and dying.
Have you ever been a bricklayer in the winter?
But like, have you ever been someone
a caretaker? Yes, I actually have. Yes,
like, it's obviously a very, very challenging job, isn't it?
And it's not as hard as being a bricklayer.
In what sense? What does that even mean?
Excuse me, you asked me if I've done it before.
Oh, I've missed this.
Yeah. Are we talking about whether or not it's
before.
physically challenging, emotionally challenging? I mean, there are care workers who are running up and down between houses getting paid less than minimum wage.
No, I get that, but you don't make a fortune as a bricklayer either.
What she's complaining that women have to do hard jobs like being a nurse, but women choose to do them jobs. It's like a man saying, oh yeah, I'm fighting for men because we have to work in the sewers and we have to work on the oil rigs and we have to be bricklayers and work in all these hard manual labour jobs. You choose to do it. In life, you're free to make your own choices. You can get whatever job you want. Now, no one's saying being a nurse is an easy job. It is quite hard, and I think women are probably better suited to that. But I don't get what she's complaining about. It's literally what they choose to do. You basically fought for the right to work. You can now work, you choose low-paying jobs, and then complain that you're not getting paid enough, and you complain that you're at the front line of some of the hardest jobs, when the truth is completely the opposite. You're not at the front line of the hardest jobs. No women work in the sewers, alright? So, I don't want to hear it.
Men are subject to military conscription. They're subject to the draft. So if there's a war, men are forced to go and die and be in the trenches and get chemical.
So are women. Women can get drafted.
Women cannot get drafted. You think women can get drafted?
I don't know, honestly.
I don't think
put me up in Vietnam, like, I don't know.
Women were not drafted in Vietnam.
I know. Okay, but
I don't even need to say it. We all know the answer, yeah? If there was a vote to draft women, every single feminist would be like, no, I don't want to do that.
¿Qué opinión te merece que las mujeres cobren menos que los hombres en el tenis y que en qué crees que se basa esa desigualdad? Gracias.
Pues no lo sé.
No sé en qué se basa en el fútbol, o en el golf, o en el modelaje. No sé. ¿Por qué las mujeres ganan más que los hombres en el tema de la moda? Pues no lo sé. Pero ahí sí que tampoco hablamos todo el día de diferencia salarial. Entiendo tu pregunta, pero es que llegamos a un momento dado que estamos haciendo todo el rato preguntas capciosas, preguntas que estamos buscando todo el rato la polémica, ¿no? Y a mí personalmente, como intento evitar la hipocresía habitualmente, pues contesto. Y a veces, aunque conteste de una manera que considero correcta y ecuánime, vosotros, sin ser una crítica más de la cuenta, os interesa más un titular que pueda vender que lo que yo digo, pues no te voy a contestar más sobre este tema, porque creo que contesto habitualmente de manera coherente y correcta, y a veces se tergiversan las palabras que yo digo, y evidentemente tengo madre, tengo hermana, y son de las personas que más quiero en este mundo. O sea, ¿qué más quiero yo que los hombres y las mujeres seamos exactamente igual y tengamos todos los mismos derechos, ¿no? A quien gane más, quien gane menos, pues es una cosa que en algunos aspectos del tema laboral las mujeres ganarán más, en otros los hombres ganarán más, y lo único que se tiene que conseguir es que no por ser hombre o por ser mujer se gane más o se gane menos. Se tiene que ganar más o se tiene que ganar menos por la calidad de tu trabajo o por lo que tú seas capaz de vender o generar.
Everything he said was true. They're once again just trying to push an agenda, but it is basic economics. I mean, if you can sell more tickets, then you're going to get more money. It's as simple as that. If you can't sell tickets, it's like anything. Even if you look at boxing, for example, the boxers who can sell the most tickets get paid the most money. It's as simple as that. Basic economics. And it's the same thing. For example, let's look at NBA versus the women's NBA. Remember when all them women was complaining that the women's NBA got paid nothing? But then someone asked, well, that's because no one watches it. Do you watch it? And none of the women had even watched it. So they're sitting here complaining about it when they don't even watch the sport themselves.
I'd rather pick up my husband's dirty laundry that he leaves right next to the basket, clean up all the beard hair that he leaves in the sink, pick up the dirty boots that he leaves all over the floor for every day for the rest of my life. It is my job to serve and take care of my husband. And guess what? He takes care of me. Now, I could complain all day about the fact that my husband leaves all this stuff all over the place and he doesn't pick up after himself. Sometimes the world wears on him so hard that sometimes all he can do is kick off his boots at the front door. As a wife, I have two options. I can get really mad about it. I can nag him, I can get upset at him, or I could just serve my husband out of love and respect, because that's what we're called to do as wives. And the verse said, it's better to live on a roof of a house than in a home with a nagging wife.
I like this one.